Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EJG3 show. This is your host, Eddie Gallagher. We are welcomed back again, Mr. John Salinger.
What's up, Eddie? Thanks for
Hey,
having me. Happy to be here.
hey, we're here, baby. AFC Championship game. Fire me up. Fire me up.
I'm with it, man. I'm super excited. It feels a lot different than it did 4 or 5 years ago, too, I think.
Exactly. So, the last time the Bills went to the AFC Championship, that was that COVID year, 2020. Uh, it was very weird. We got absolutely destroyed in that game. But, hey, this is a new year. Both teams are different. Uh, let's recap the Ravens game first. So obviously, Bills won um, by 2 points. What wasn't it 27-25?
I thought it was 29-27, but yeah, I think, yeah, something like that. 27-25, 29-27,
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. I had a couple beers, so.
it was 27-25 Buffalo. Um, what were your thoughts? After the game. Like during that game, what stood out to you?
Yeah. Good win, obviously. It's pretty cool to be back in the AFC Championship. Hopefully it goes a little bit differently than, 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago, I guess. Like you said, that game wasn't very fun to watch. Although I think in that first AFC Championship, you correct me if I'm wrong, you'd know better than me. I think we went up 10-0, right?
We went up 9-0 and then we
9-0, so we missed an extra point or something.
yeah.
But yeah, we had a lead, but yeah, no, this past game against the Ravens, a lot of fun to watch. When they went up first, 7-0, the Ravens did, the Bills to come back and, get seven of their own. That was huge. Um, yeah, I was super pumped about it. What I took away is I think the defense stood on its head, forcing three different turnovers, two, by Lamar, and that fumble by Mark Andrews, at midfield. That was probably the biggest one of the game, I think. I think we ended up getting seven out of that, but
No, no, Josh Allen got stuffed. We got three.
okay. All right. Well, we got points out of it because I know the first one, the interception, the Taylor Rapp interception, led to no points, which that always bothers me. But yeah, I thought the defense played well. I thought the offense, there's more to be desired there, but we'll see what happens this week.
Yeah, so the Ravens went right down the field and scored, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's going to be a long day. Like I was pretty scared. I mean, it was pretty easy. Although Derrick Henry dropped a catch, he actually dropped two catches. First drive, and then I think the third drive when they were in the red zone, he also dropped a pass. But it was pretty easy. They converted a lot of third downs. And I'm like, oh my God, this kind of reminds me of Week 4. You know, I I was like, are we going to have a hard time stopping Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson? I mean, that's what I thought when they went up 7-0.
Right. I agree with you, but what kind of didn't make me hit the panic button as much this time is that Derrick Henry wasn't like too involved in that drive. Like he might have picked up a couple third downs on, like third and shorts, things like that, but like he didn't bust any for, any more than like 5 yards or anything like that.
Yeah,
So that's what definitely was different to me because if you let him, out in space early, then it's, buckle up time. But so, they had to do it themselves in a different way, the Ravens did, to get down and get seven. So that, obviously I was a little bit panicked, but the fact that we're keeping Mark Henry, or wow, Derrick Henry, in check that first drive, made me feel a little bit better than I would have if he had busted one out for 80 yards like he did in week 4.
yeah. You know what really settled me down? Uh, we got the ball back. And we scored. We just marched right down the field. I think we only passed twice. That third down conversion by Shakir, that was pretty cool. That really kind of settled me down, and I think that settled the team down. Like, okay, we're here, we're ready to go to war.
Right. Yeah, that I forgot about that. I didn't forget, but good point about that kid. Wow, I'm bad today.
Shakir,
The Khalil Shakir third down. I mean, that was like a 35-yard pass too. On like probably 3rd and 6 or something like that. So those ones, you kind of always, clench your fists a little bit. Like when it's 3rd and 6, I'm looking for just the first down, not to really take a shot downfield, but it worked out in our favor. And yeah, that I think you're right. That kind of settled the team in that one play alone. You look at back at a play like that, and I think for sure. like you said, it kind of settled them in. One thing I also did want to review about, last week's game is a game at home of that magnitude. You know it's going to be your last home playoff game. If you win the toss, take the football and then go down, get seven, and that place will absolutely explode. And it would be that much harder for the Ravens to do what they did, on their first drive. I'm typically 85, 90% of the time, I love deferring. I love getting the ball in the second half, but a playoff game like that at home, when you need to play pretty much your best to win it, you got blown out earlier in the season, go get that freaking ball and, see what you can do. Now, it worked out, but I always just, in a
Well,
playoff
well,
home game, I think it's a little bit different than a regular season game.
yeah. I will say this was a Ravens team. Lamar Jackson postseason struggles. You kind of want to make him beat you, not Derrick Henry. We talked last time. I was more concerned about Derrick Henry than I was Lamar Jackson, and I think I was proven right. To be honest with you, I mean, when Derrick Henry gets going, that team gets going.
100%. Yeah, and I think I read some article too where, players were saying how McDermott's game plan was make Lamar beat you, sell out on the run, stuff like that, and make Lamar, beat you. Because if it came down to it, I mean, I know we're biased, but I'm taking Josh Allen over Lamar. Like if those two guys, if you said pick a guy to go win the game, like even if they had caught in that, even if Mark Andrews had sealed that, 2-point conversion to tie it. Josh Allen has three timeouts in a minute and 33 seconds. Like, I'm convinced we go get at least 3 points as time expires, maybe more.
Yeah. All right. So this really bugs me, and you kind of touched on this when Lamar Jackson threw his first interception, or his only interception, and we didn't score any points. That bothers me, Tom. I mean, John. I mean, it really does. Uh, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's
like,
it's the worst
like,
thing ever. And I'm pretty sure, like, Rap went right out of bounds, like, as he caught that. But I'm pretty sure we were, like, within 10, 15 yards of midfield. Like, I think we were at the 35 or 40 or darn near close midfield. So, and I don't even know if we got a first down out of it either. I
yeah,
don't
I think
remember.
we went three now. And by the way, that was the drive that bogus call on Dawkins.
Was that the same drive?
Yeah,
That was a wild call.
yeah, that was trash. No, I just think this week's game. If there's a turnover that's involved, you got to score points. You cannot go three and out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you obviously want points, but you have to at least move the ball a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Get a couple of first downs. Like I agree completely. It sickens me to not get something out of a turnover. Outside of taking, and I don't know, we'll see how this weekend plays out, but if we can force them to make two turnovers, I feel good about it.
Um. You know what? So 21-10, we get the ball in the second half. John, I thought we were too conservative.
Super.
So, like, you got to be kidding me. Where's that final blow? That final punch? Which it was like run, run, Josh Allen pass, and I was super disappointed. I'm like, give it to your best player's hands. Like I love James Cook, and I thought we ran the ball pretty good. But I get it. You're trying to be the more physical team, but what it was about a score remaining. I mean, we could have nailed that game, and you know what? No worries. But I was so disappointed.
Yeah, it didn't need to get as emotional as it did at the end. I agree with you, EG. Um, I would like to, yeah, like you said, it's always run, run, pass on 3rd and 8, right? In the second half, it always seems to be that way. And then, in the fourth quarter, maybe late third quarter, then they started running those like play actions on first down. So who knows if it's just to kind of set those up for later in the game? I don't really know like that, but. I agree. They were definitely conservative. I mean, even in the first half, like I mean, the run game was working, so it was fine. But like with Josh only threw what like 9 or 10 times. He only had 10 or so attempts in the first half alone. That whole game they kind of took the ball out of his hands. So I'm hoping this week and then hopefully the 2 weeks after this week. Um, they just let 17 go it, you know? Obviously you want to mix in James Cook because that's worked all year. But let Josh Allen be Josh Allen for sure.
I mean, obviously the weather. I mean, look, it wasn't great, but it was still good enough to throw the football at least. I mean, it wasn't like it was snowing pretty hard.
No, yeah, I don't think there was really any snow. I mean, not enough to, worry about your footing or, any of that kind of stuff. I agree. And then I think this upcoming Sunday in Kansas City, the temperature, at least at kickoff, is going to be below 20. I don't know if they're expecting snow or anything, but we're
Uh,
used to that.
yeah, I mean, concerned that Amari Cooper didn't get the ball.
I saw a report, some reporter had asked him today, like if he's concerned by it, and he said no, not at all. Um, I don't know. I mean, the Bills thing this year is I think Josh Allen is better when teams know that he's not forcing it to a guy like Diggs. So I think that's worked to our benefit. Who knows? Maybe they start unlocking him a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. Like I keep saying, I said this on the last time, and Josh Allen made a comment, towards the end of the season about them keeping their offense a little bit vanilla and opening it up for the playoffs. And it's like, all right, well, we've already played 2 games in the playoffs. Granted, they did well against the Broncos and there were some cool plays in there and they did their thing, but, let's not wait till the offseason to open up the playbook. Let's do it this week and the next and the next and the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks until the Super Bowl. Let's start opening it up and dialing up some cool stuff, getting Amari involved. It's nice to know though that we can win these football games without, a former Pro Bowl, maybe second team All Pro. I don't know if he's ever made an All Pro team before, Amari Cooper, but he's definitely been a Pro Bowler. He's got the talent. So it's nice to know that you can win these football games and he's not really contributing.
Yeah, no, and we know, this week every wide receiver, every tight end need to contribute. Um, I thought it was way too many screen passes, and I just want more of that downfield action. I'm not saying just like a 5 yard, 10 yard pass. Like, I'm not looking for a 30 yard bomb, but like just spread it out. I thought we screens running the football. I just did not like at all.
Yeah, I've seen more screens this year out of a Buffalo Bills offense than I can ever remember in a single season. A lot of them go to Shakir, and they tend to work. I mean, I think he was behind Jamar Chase in yards after the catch this year and yards after contact. He might get bumped at the line and then he ends up going for 12, which is always nice. The one screen to Dawson Knox was an interesting play call, and I know they didn't get
Third and
it.
five, and we got stuffed.
Well, they got stuff, but I don't know if, I mean, the Ravens clearly did see it coming. But like the screen pass to Dawson Knox, like I could have seen that busting out for like 20 just because it's like, why would they haven't thrown him a screen pass, in his 4 or 5 year career. Why do it now? But it obviously didn't work. But I remember everybody was, at the watch party that I was at this past Sunday. They were like, what the hell kind of, play call is that and stuff? I was like, I kind of like it, but it didn't work. So. Yeah, maybe they scratched that one, but we're gonna see some screens this week for sure. Um, I bet we see some. I know this worked like last year a couple times or 2 years ago with Isaiah McKenzie, a little, end around, something like that. I bet we get one or two of those or something like that. Not too tricky, but just something weird. I could see Josh Allen catching a pass this week somehow.
Yeah. You know, John, I thought the most valuable players in that game was Matt Milano and Bernard.
Oh yeah,
I saw when Matt Milano tipped that pass to Isaiah, like that was going to Isaiah Likely. I'm like, wow, he was wide open. If he doesn't take that pass, that's an automatic 2 points.
yeah,
We
that
kind of have to
first two
score.
point conversion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Milano's starting to look better. I mean, he also looks way thicker than he has in the past, doesn't
Oh,
he? He just looks so much
his
bigger.
biceps are humongous.
He's the most handsome man in the NFL. Yo, chat, clip that. No, but yeah, Matt Milano's starting to look healthier. Terrell Bernard, I love him. I was actually there every Thursday. There's always a Madden update with player ratings. And for some reason, Terrell Bernard is still only a 78 overall. I'm like, this guy should be at least an 83. I mean, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's just everywhere. He's got really good instincts. I think he's undersized, for most middle linebackers, but I mean, his lateral quickness, left to right, all that. He's a good I think he's pretty good in the pass game as well as the run game. Damar Hamlin made a couple nice tackles on Derrick Henry too throughout that game. I'm not a huge fan of Damar, but I also can't believe that he's up for comeback player of the year again, but that is what it is.
Uh,
Um,
all right, so look, I feel bad for this guy, but we have to discuss it. Does Lamar deserve any blame in this loss?
yeah, I think so. That fumble he had, that led to seven,
That
and
was
that was such a
terrible.
weird
Yeah,
fumble too,
I
wasn't
mean it
it?
was a bad snap, and he tried to make a play, and he slipped and fumbled, and obviously Von Miller. I was praying, please do not fumble that ball, because number 43, I believe, who tackled him, he was trying to strip that ball.
Yeah, I think it was Justice Hill, right?
Yeah,
That running back. But yeah, that was crazy. I saw a report or I watched like a Von Miller post game interview, and he said that he was looking in the screen. He's like running towards the end zone, and he looks up, and the camera's like on him, and he sees guys coming behind him. So I guess he tucked it up nice, which was huge. Because that really would have sucked, and that game could have been totally different. And even with the Matt Milano tip, if they make that 2 point conversion, who knows what happens the rest of that game. So yeah, shout out to the defense. I think they did their thing by, stopping Lamar or sorry, stopping Derrick Henry and then making Lamar beat you, which again, I think was their game plan. So that was fun to watch, and hopefully they can honestly play like they did against Kansas City the first go round this year. They played pretty well against him. I remember they had a few sacks on Mahomes, which it always seems like in the playoffs
we
we
just
can
can't
never get
get.
home on him, and he just he does those little like shoulder things, and he slips them, so hopefully we
Well,
can
I mean,
actually get after him.
he rushes more. Like he'll get out of the pocket, he'll make plays. But he's an undervalued scrambler. Like he is a good running quarterback.
Yeah, when he needs to be for sure.
Yeah. Look, I do blame a little bit on Lamar because you are the quarterback. That interception, that fumble, that kind of cost you 3 points, 7 points, etc. You know, I do blame Andrews. You got to catch that ball. And you got to not fumble the ball. But to be honest with you, Lamar Jackson in the first half was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lamar deserves, just as much blame, not, yeah, just as much blame as Mark Andrews, not just on that play, but overall, like you said, he didn't play very well in the first half, two turnovers. Um, I also saw Chris Sims on what's that show they have on Peacock in the morning before Dan Patrick.
PFFs.
Yeah, PFF or whatever. Chris Sims was kind of dogging Lamar on that 2 point conversion, the one that Mark Andrews dropped, because I guess, he double, or, he pump faked it like twice
Yeah,
instead of just throwing the ball out. He could have, and he double pumped it twice, which I think threw Mark Andrews off a little bit. He wasn't not blaming Mark Andrews. Like it's still a very, very catchable ball, but like just the timing was off and the fact that he like double clutched it or whatever. Um, you know, where he could have just got that ball because there was nobody within 5 yards of him.
yeah. Yeah, we feel you, Ravens fans. I mean, trust me, we know some heartbreakers.
Doesn't it feel nice, Eddie, to be on the other side of something that happens like that?
But I was also nervous about the onside kick. I mean, I
Oh
was,
yeah. Well, I
oh,
said when they were going in for that 2 point conversion, I said to we all got up and jumped and screamed and stuff. And then I was like, okay, everybody, sit back to exactly where you were sitting because we got one more play.
I
Because
mean,
with our luck, they would have gotten that onside kick in the past. They would have, and then Justin Tucker, who's been crap all year, he would have nailed like a 54 yarder to win. Like that's
yeah,
with our typical luck, that's how it would have went. But it's so nice to be on the other side of the fence there where something weird goes on for the other team where we can, enjoy a victory off of it. And I think that kind of changed like that Dolphins game, the second time we played them, it was like, week 8, 9, 10, whatever it was, when Bass made like the 62 yarder to win the game. It's like, when are we on this side of the field of that? Like last year we had the Eagles that Jake Elliott, made like a 61 yarder in the wind and rain. And then, what's his face? Fairbairn for the Texans earlier this year made a crazy long kick for the win. It's rare, I feel like that we're on that side of it, but it's nice and it feels like the tide's turning.
All right, so let's preview to this game coming up. I did say last week I was more nervous about playing Baltimore than I am playing Kansas City, and I still stand by that statement. But you know what? Patrick Mahomes is that dude still. We got to, he's the best quarterback in the league. Um, are you concerned about the back end, the secondary, our
Yeah, I
secondary?
mean, Taylor Rapp hasn't practiced all week. I saw he missed practice yesterday with that hip and back injury that he left with last week. I know Christian Benford's been limited. I think Matt Milano's dealing with a groin issue. Um, and there's one more. It could be Taron Johnson. He might have gotten
Shoulder,
dinged
shoulder.
up a little bit too. Yeah, but they're limited. The only guy who hasn't been actually practicing is Taylor Rapp, and I don't really believe in Cole Bishop yet. Not enough film out there. So that yeah, defensive, and I think that's like I said earlier, it's going to be more important now than ever for that defensive line to get to Patrick Mahomes, rush those throws, give the defensive backs less time to allow their men free, right?
Yeah. Um, you know, we played DeAndre Hopkins. This will be our third time. So I think either Douglas and Benford, I think we can honestly handle him. Worthy, he's more of their gadget guy. We just haven't played Hollywood Brown yet. He drops balls. I mean, he doesn't have the best hands. So, I mean, if our secondary is healthy, I think we can limit Patrick Mahomes, into field goals and not touchdowns.
Yeah, it seems like, against the Texans, they had a lot of field goals. So if we can hold them to three, points, maybe give up two touchdowns and a few field goals, I think the Bills got to score 30 if they want to win. You got to score at least 30 to win, but yeah, something seems off with the Chiefs, but this year, they've just skated by, it feels like, in a lot of their games, but nothing in the past matters. It's playoff football. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Travis Kelce. Chris Jones is a beast on their, defensive line there. So we've been here before. It's a different team that they have. I'm pretty sure DeAndre Hopkins was on their team
Yeah,
earlier when
yeah,
we played them.
he was, but he literally just got there.
Yeah, but I mean, you said, Hollywood Brown doesn't have the best hands. DeAndre Hopkins maybe have the best hands ever. So, um, yeah, they definitely got weapons. Pacheco's back. Kareem Hunt, is a good football player. So I think it's going to be super important for our defensive line to, show up and show out.
Yes. Are you concerned about the Chiefs' defense? Rushing, rushing after Josh Allen.
I haven't watched enough Chiefs football to like really have an idea. Of what they like to do. I know that Karlaftis guy has been pretty good. So I've heard, but I don't really watch enough Chiefs football games to like. I know their defense has been good, but I think the key to the Bills winning is don't beat yourselves, right? And that's what they've done all year. They've been, as long you can't commit penalties, you can't commit turnovers. If you don't beat yourself, I think you have a really good shot of winning the football game. Whoever's on the other end of their defense.
Yeah, I think Chiefs' defensive line is good, but I love Josh Allen's escapability, and we know they love bringing the blitz, so quick passes. I think that's really going to be the key. Um, their secondary, I mean, they're okay. I mean, I think they have a rookie or maybe a second year player. Um, and I think their weapons will absolutely be a lot better than they were against the Ravens.
Yeah, I read an article. I think his name's Jared Dubin for CBS Sports, and I read this last week too. He breaks down every single position group for each team and, gives like an advantage or a lean on each side. And they gave I think they gave the Chiefs, oh, it was the Chiefs secondary because they break it down even that far. It's not just defense, offense. It's like, quarterback, running back, receiving core, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, secondary, and special teams. And they said that Trent McDuffie guy, who I think plays their slot corner,
Yeah.
that Taron Johnson position, he was like, he's the best, he's clearly the best defensive player on both sides. I was like, Taron Johnson's like pretty good, dude. Like, I don't know if he's like miles ahead of Taron Johnson, like, but yeah, he leaned for the secondary to go to the Chiefs. He gave us the nod at linebacker, and then them, their defensive line being better than ours. But we'll see. I think you need to at least put up 30 points and see what happens. But I said, before last week, after we had beaten the Broncos, I said to my buddy, I was like, we have two AFC championship games coming up. You have the Ravens. We beat them. Then you have your actual AFC championship game, whether it be against the Texans or the Chiefs. And here we are with our second AFC, in my opinion, our second AFC championship game of this year. Um, so let's go win it.
Yeah. I want to get to the other side real quick. If you had a choice, say the Bills win, who would you rather face? Uh, Eagles or the Commanders?
I think my wallet says the Eagles because in mid-November I put a future on the Super Bowl matchup to be Bills Eagles. So I'd pick up a nice little $200 off a $10 bet. So that'd be nice. And if both those teams win, I think I'm going to take those $200 and throw them on the Bills money line. Just because it's free money at that point, right? But no, I mean, you play who you play. It's the NFL. I think you'd prefer to play, a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels, who nobody thought they'd make it this far, the playoffs, let alone the NFC Championship game. I think you definitely you would be licking your chops as a Bills fan, I think, to play the Commanders in the Super Bowl. Because on the other side, the Eagles, like those guys have been there. Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl and not only, they lost it, but like Jalen Hurts, outside that one fumble he had a couple years ago in the Super Bowl, he played phenomenally. So I don't think the bright lights, phase him. And like I said to you a couple weeks ago, going into that Broncos game, I think, you would just prefer to play a rookie quarterback. I think, Sean McDermott being a defensive mind, I think that makes his job just a little bit easier than, you know, playing guys and coaches who have been there before within the last 2, 3 years.
Yeah, I said I think I would rather face Commanders, but that team has confidence, and when a team has confidence, it's very, very scary to play them because they believe they can win every game.
Yeah. Also, the Eagles too. I feel like they're banged up. Like Jalen Hurts, I don't know if he's 100%.
No,
So like, if you
he,
could get
he,
a
he
hobbled Eagles team, like honestly, I like whoever comes out of the AFC to win the Super Bowl, regardless. I mean, I'm saying my prayers every night that it's Buffalo, but I think regardless, either the Bills get there first or the Chiefs three-peat. Either way, history is going to happen. It would be nice, if we did get matched up against the Commanders. I mean, not that either of us are alive, but a little, redemption for 1992.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, yeah, no, I give credit to Commanders at least getting to the NFC Championship, but going to Philadelphia, that's just tough. Um, but yeah, but I still think that's going to be a good game, regardless.
The
Uh,
3 o'clock game?
yeah, the 3 o'clock game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to watch it, and I definitely want to watch this stream of those Barstool guys, PFT and Max. They're obviously one's a big Commanders fan, one's a big Eagles fan, so that'll be entertaining in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, I'm hoping I'm going back to the Bills Chiefs game. I'm just praying to God that Josh Allen just throws that cape on, Superman, and just balls out because I think if he has like an average game, I think we lose by 10 points. I think Josh Allen needs to be that dude.
Yeah, and dude, he's been here before, man.
Oh, he's not face.
He's great in the playoffs. You just got to make sure, and they're dialed, man. Sean McDermott, I think that's his one of his best strengths is just having teams ready for the most part, especially when it comes to playoff time. I mean, I don't even know how those guys do it. Like if I was in Josh Allen's shoes, I'd be trembling, but he doesn't. He's been here before. He knows what he needs to do, and I think they're going to unleash him. I think they're going to let the dog off the leash and let him go.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm ready. I want to do my speech. I want to give a little pep talk to the Buffalo Bills, Bills Mafia. Okay.
Send it.
All right. Coach McDermott and Josh Allen, especially Coach McDermott. Coach a game. Sometimes you got to go on fourth downs. Be a little aggressive. Do not play the Ravens like you play the Chiefs. The Chiefs know how to win championships. They're aggressive. They can run the ball. If they're 13 seconds, please squib kick it. Josh Allen, hey, you almost wanted to pitch that ball. In the Ravens game, settle down. We don't need you to go crazy, Josh Allen. Protect the football. If you protect the football, we have a better chance beating the Chiefs. And also, our defense, the secondary. Travis Kelsey, he looks like he wants to retire right now. All right, I know he had an unbelievable game in the second round of the playoffs, but his first game because that he got rest. Of course, he's going to be good. But watch him. Don't let him be wide open. Because trust me, if he gets wide open, I'm going to be super mad because he is their only threat. That's just what I believe. And also, Tyler Bass. This is redemption. If it's your time to kick a field goal, you got to make that field goal. Every point matters. Every point matters. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes gets the ball last. Make your field goals. Give your defense a chance. And also, Miss Haley Steinfeld or Miss Haley Allen. Everyone's going to be paying attention to Red Lips Taylor Swift. Girl, you better outdress her. You better get that Josh Allen jacket on. All right. Flounce around. Hey, 17, my back. I got that ring. It's time for Allen to get his ring. And also, CBS, I don't want to look at Taylor Swift. I want to look at the football game, which that's not going to happen. You're going to show Taylor Swift 500 times. And also, the refs, hey, you better call it fair. You better. I'm going to flip out. If if 74, their tackle, if he's full starting, if he's holding, you call it. Because I believe this game, John, that they're not going to throw a whole lot of penalties. The NFL wants to send a message. So all I can say, Bills Mafia, let's go to Chiefs Kingdom and steal the crown. Let's steal it. Let's go. Bills Mafia, let's go.
Let's go Bills, Eddie. Couldn't have said it better myself. Looking forward to it.
6:30.
6:30 Sunday. We're only two sleeps away, I think, right? Tonight, three sleeps away. But yeah, I'm ready for it. Love the pump up talk. And really, what I took away from your pump up talk there, your pump up speech, Tyler Bass had a hell of a game last week. I mean, he nailed a 51 yarder. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Let's give the man his flowers. I
yeah,
think Tyler Bass is back.
yeah. No, that when he played the Dolphins, that kick that you were talking about earlier, I really do believe his confidence came back. But oh my gosh, let's go Buffalo Bills Mafia. When you go to Arrowhead, you send them a message. The the Buffaloes are coming. The Buffaloes are coming. Bills Mafia's coming. We're gonna steal that kingdom.
Hell yeah. Time to dethrone him.
John, it's always been a pleasure. Enjoy the game and see you next time.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.